Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Safika, MD1, and today I'm going to present about my SSN project. And the topic that I choose for this project is the cardiac and heart disease. So first, I'm going to make an introductions about this topic. So what is actually heart? The heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the body by circulating it through circulatory or vascular system. So as we can see in the diagram that I attached here, heart is located in front of the human chest, and specifically, it is located in the middle mediastinum, and it sits between the right and the left lung. So heart has a specific role in our body. So the main function of heart is to move blood throughout the body. Also, it controls the rhythm and speed of the heart rate and maintain blood pressure. So we go to the anatomy of the heart. So basically, heart has five surfaces, which are the base, the inferior, the anterior, the left and the right pulmonary surfaces. It also has four border, which is the right, left, superior, and inferior border. So basically, heart made up of four chambers that are the right atrium here, the right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. So there is a wall that separates the right atrium and the left atrium, and this wall is called interatrial septum. So also same goes to the right ventricle and the left ventricle. It also separated by a wall called the interventricular septum. So next is the pipeline. So as we can see here, there are three large vessels, and these three vessels are called three great vessels, and it composed of the superior vena cava, the aorta, and the pulmonary tract. And this is the ascending aorta, and this is the arch of the aorta. And not to forget this, there is a inferior vena cava here. Next is the regulator, which is the valve. So there are one, two, three, four valves in the heart. So this is the tricuspid valve, this is the mitral valve, or we call bicuspid valve, and this is the pulmonary valve, and this is the aortic valve. And these two valves are called atrioventricular valve, and these two valves are called the semilunar valve. So next, human heart also receive a nutrients through a network of coronary artery. And the artery that involves is the left coronary artery here. And this left coronary artery will divide into two. The first one is the circumflex artery, and the second one is the left anterior descending artery, LAD. And not to forget, there is a right coronary artery here. So this coronary artery supply blood to the heart organ. So, next, I'm going to explain about the physiology of the heart. So, before going deeper, I'm going to explain that there are two circulations in our body: the pulmonary circulation, which involves the heart and the lung, and the systemic circulation that involves our body, tissue in our body, and the heart. So, there is a specific flow through the specific vessels. For example, the blood that flow through the lung is through the pulmonary artery, and the blood that return to the heart is called pulmonary vein. And the vessels that the vessels that where the blood being pumped throughout the body is the aorta, whereas there is a deoxygenated blood that flow back into the heart through the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. So how this blood enter the heart and being pumped? So I'm going to explain this cardiac cycle. So there involves diastole, which is the relaxation, atrial systole, which is the atrial contractions, and ventricular systole is the ventricular contractions. So when diastole occur, the blood will enter the right atrium and the left atrium until it fills. And then atrial systole will cause the atrium to contract, and this causes the blood to flow into the ventricles. So the blood will fill in the ventricles, and then there will be also ventricular systoles, which contract, thus pushing the blood out from the heart. So how this how these contractions occur, what trigger it. So uh, there is a cardiac impulse that are generated by this natural pacemaker, which is the SA node. So this SA node will generate cardiac impulse and spread it to the right atrium first, and then it will then go to the left atrium through the intra-atrial pathway. So once the atria has been activated, the impulse then go to the junctional zone. So in the junctional zone, there is another node called atrioventricular node, AV node. So from the AV node, the impulse then passes through a bundle of his here. So this bundle of his will then divide to the left and the right branch to carry impulse to the right and the left atrium and ventricle. I'm sorry. So in each ventricles, there is a Purkinje fiber. So when the impulse uh, passes here, it will causes the ventricles to contract. Thus, it will causes blood to be pushed up from the heart. So next, I'm going to explain about the biochemistry of heart that involves the cardiac contractility and the calcium homeostasis. So generally, heart is composed of the heart muscles. The heart will consists of the heart muscles, and thus the septums of the heart also consists of the heart muscles that will contract. So this cardiac myocyte is interconnected network of myofibrils surrounded by a sarcoplasmic reticulum. So here we can see the structure of the cardiac muscles. So each myofibrils will comprises of sarcomeres, and the sarcomeres it consists of thick myosin here and thin actin filament. And there is active sites, and these active sites is covered by two regulatory protein, which is the troponin and the tropomyosin. So that is the structure of the heart muscles. So we know that the calcium homeostasis means that the calcium ion is important for myocardial contractions and relaxation. So how contractions occur? So when contraction ensures, it will trigger the exponential release of the calcium ion from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and thus this calcium ion will bind to the troponin and causes the conformational alterations of the tropomyosin. So this alteration will expose the active site and thus facilitating a sliding interaction between the actin filament and the myosin head. So this is the contraction. When the sliding interaction is the contractions, and also it will trigger the hydrolysis of ATP since contractions need ATP energy. So how about the relaxation? So for relaxation, it is triggered by the cytosolic calcium ion sequestration in the sarcoplasmic reticulum, which means that the calcium in the sarcoplasmic reticulum is being removed. Thus, it will trigger the relaxation. So the next, I'm going to explain the heart disease. So the common heart disease that most common of the death causes is the coronary heart disease, or in medical term, it called as ischemic heart disease. So it involves the artery where the heart cannot deliver enough oxygen-rich blood to the heart. So there are two types: coronary artery disease and coronary microvascular disease. For coronary artery, it affects the larger coronary artery in the surface of the heart, while the coronary microvascular disease is affect the tiny arteries in heart muscles. So the causes for this disease depends on the type. For coronary artery disease is caused by the cholesterol that build up inside the coronary arteries that will disrupt the flow of the blood. And for coronary microvascular disease, it is when the heart tiny blood vessels do not work normally. So the symptoms of this disease include the chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, sweating, and palpitation. So it can causes the risk of the heart failure when where the heart cannot pump blood normally, and heart attack when the heart muscles begins to die because it doesn't get any blood or oxygen. So next I'm going to explain about the cardiologist in Sabah, and I choose Dr. Roland Chin Wei Mei, which is a local from Kota Kinabalu and obtained his basic medical degree in the University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia, and he also go through many training, fellowship training, and advanced fellowship training, so that now he is currently a resident cardiologist, which specializes in radial head approach, angiogram, angioplasty, pacemaker, and echocardiogram. So that's all from me. Thank you.